What's going on YouTube? Caleb Eubanks here, doing my first ever album review actually, and it's on Kiss's debut album, self-titled Kiss. Came out in 1974 by Casablanca Records. First Kiss album ever released to the general public. There's some demos that were released before then and some live footage released before then, but this is the actual first Kiss album ever to be released. And before I get going in the review, wanted to point out the fact that I've never did a review before. This is my first ever review, so if I mess it up, I apologize. After talking to some Kiss fans recently on YouTube that I found were doing album reviews, I decided to go ahead and do my own. So, as you can tell, I'm playing it in the background. Got it on the remasters also. Got a couple of these actually. So first let me tell you the story about Kiss and this album right here. When I was like 9 or 10 years old, my dad had stacks of Kiss albums in his bedroom, and I used to go in there and I used to look through them because it would be, some cool album covers to look at, and I was, a curious little kid, so I would go in there and I'd look at them. My older brother is a huge Kiss fan at the time when I was like 9 or 10. He was like 14 or 15 at the time, huge Kiss fan. He had all the records, and he would take them from my dad, and he'd play them on his record player, and I'd be in there, and I'd listen to them, and I'd hear them, and, I knew all the iconic songs like Rockin' All Night and Detroit Rock City and stuff like that. But then, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, like I said, I got my first ever record player my dad bought me. Actually, my grandmother bought me it, not my dad. I got it for Christmas. And my grandmother bought it for me. And I went to my dad and I said, "Can I listen to your Kiss records?" He said, "Yeah, go ahead." So I went, took all his Kiss records, were stacked like this. I took them to my bedroom and I listened to all of them that I could. I didn't listen to this one first. It took me a while to actually ever even get introduced to this album. For years, I thought Hotter Than Hell was the very first Kiss album. Because if you look at the Hotter Than Hell cover, it actually looks older than this cover. Except, due to Peter's makeup. But, when I first heard this album, the song that really got me hooked on Kiss at first, when I first started listening to Kiss, was the song Strutter, which is the opening track on this album. Then you got songs like Nothing to Lose. Nothing to Lose is a song I'm not really a big fan of. A lot of Kiss fans who like the older Kiss, the early Kiss, 73 through 78, really are big fans of the song Nothing to Lose. I'm not a big fan of Nothing to Lose, and I'm not really a big fan of the song Firehouse either. Those two songs never really got my attention. They never really made me want to be a Kiss fan. The song Cold Gin, which is the 4th track on the album, is a song that I absolutely love, and it's even better live. I love Cold Gin when they play it live. Gene is always doing that song very intense when he's singing it live. The fifth one is Let Me Know. I like that song. A lot of people didn't hear about Let Me Know until it was released on the album You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. It was later released on that album as a live track. A lot of people didn't even hear the song till then. But it's on this album. It's the 5th track on this album. And I actually love that song. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. The 6th track on the album is Kissin' Time, which is playing right now on the record player. I like this song. When I first heard it, it didn't really do anything for me. After years and years of going back and listening to this album over and over again, and later on getting the remastered CD and listening to it, this song is a really good song. The drums and the bass on this song, if you really listen to it, they do a little sputtering, almost like an Iron Maiden kind of bass and drums. So I really like that about this song. The next song is Deuce, which iconic classic Kiss song, one of their best openers for concerts ever. I've heard several people on YouTube say about this album that Deuce should have opened it. You're right. Deuce should have opened this album instead of Strutter. Strutter's a good song, but you know, if you had Strutter halfway through this album and you had Deuce opening up, it would have done the same thing. It would have knocked the album off also. Um, Love Theme from Kiss, just a little melody that Kiss put on the album with no lyrics to it. It's pretty cool. From what I understand, credits to that song go to Paul and Gene. But from what I understand, a lot of things I read online is actually Ace wrote that. Ace wrote it while they were looking for a filler track, and Ace was playing around with that melody in the studio, and he actually wrote the Love Theme from Kiss. The next song is my favorite song on the entire album. If this song was not on this album, I would not like this album. This song changed the whole album right when you play it. It makes you want to go back and listen to it all over again. 100,000 Years by Kiss. One of the best Kiss songs that you can ever listen to. 100,000 Years. Great song. If you ever get a chance to listen to Alive, 100,000 Years on Alive is amazing. With Peter's drum solo that goes on in there, the way Paul works the crowd in the live track on Alive, great song. I love it. Then, the last track on the album, Black Diamond. What can I say about Black Diamond? One of the best Kiss live songs that I've ever heard. I went to go see them recently in South Carolina last Tuesday, so almost a week ago, and they played Black Diamond in the encore. Absolutely amazing. I like Peter's Black Diamond version than I do of Eric's. Eric doesn't really play the drums on Black Diamond that intense as Peter once did back in the day, but it's still a good song to hear live, and it's still a good song to hear on this album. Basically what I got to say about this album is this album didn't even become gold till 2 years after it was released in '75, and that's right after, you know, Alive came out. As soon as Alive came out, people who opened up that Alive jacket saw this album, Hotter Than Hell, and Dressed to Kill, and went and bought this thing. This album sat on record store shelves for almost 3 years. So it's a good album. If you're looking to get into Kiss, this is not where to start. This is a great place to go back to and revisit. But if you're looking to get into Kiss, this is really not a good place to start. It's not my favorite album by Kiss, but it's definitely not my least favorite album by Kiss. I can't remember. I wrote down all my favorite albums in order one day, and this ranked about halfway through. You know, it's a good album, and it stands for what it is. It's pure heavy Kiss at their finest when they first started. But I think some of the tracks on here were a little bit too overproduced because they were such a young band, and I think they were probably excited to get into the studio. But if you really listen to the album, songs like you know, Kissin' Time and even Deuce, I would say, and Strutter, those are all overly produced songs. Even though they are decent songs, they're very overly produced. And later on in Hotter Than Hell and Dressed to Kill, Kiss really stripped it down and was more of a raw sound. But this album here, it was, I think, overproduced is what happened with it. But it's still a great album. I want to know what you think about it, and you know, comment, share, get back to me on it. But I definitely want to know what you think. What do you think about Kiss's debut album? Hit or miss? What do you like about it? And I'm sorry if this wasn't a good album review. I apologize. This is my first one I've ever done. And you know, I want to thank Elevator Fan for really pushing me to go out there and do this review, being nervous about it and everything. And I just hope you like it. Bye.